3 hot marches, thick and primed, locked and loaded, battle time. No foreplay, no sweet talk, just pure destruction, meat to rock. Infantry's first, slow but strong, takes a pounding, all day long. Scipio and 𝒟𝒆, hard as stone, never back down, never moan. Archers love to tease and play. Herman's wet, he plays all day. Pulls back, lets loose, crit so mean. One shot comes, make him cream. Then comes cavalry, fast as fuck. Nevsky charges, no bad luck. Deep penetration, no escape. One big thrust, it's pure gape. 3 together, full send spree. Smashing troops in a raw orgy. No lube, no mercy, no regrets. Just hard war, soaking wet. So when you march, don't march alone. Grab a squad, break some bones. 3 some fights, the only way. Bend over and make him stay. Man, that poem was an abomination. Absolute degeneracy. I think I got HIV by reading that poem.
Holy Ghost fire! I rebuke it in Jesus' name.
I rebuke it. We are going to church this week.
Nah, but all jokes aside, today is Valentine's and I wanted to give you guys some ideas so you can be creative in the bed. You're welcome. Anyways, let's get to the point of this video. 3 best core marches on open field as of 2025 updated. The last time I did this, I believe it was October or September of last year, so it has been a while and I thought it is time for an update. Generally, this is good for players who are free to play or super low spender, or even players who are just new to the game and they are starting with KVK Season 3 or Season 4 for their first time. And they want to make a solid 3 marches for their open field and from there work their way up towards 5 march, 6 march or even 7. So don't worry, this video is exactly for you because we're going to talk about meta core marches for open field that you can use and kick some ass. Right, let's start from cavalry because I'm a cav main and I am kinda biased. To decide the single best cavalry march in a game, first you have to choose the primary commander, and that's gonna be between either Nevsky or 𝒟𝒆, and that depends on your playstyle. If you like to chain barbarians and you don't mind spending a lot of time on chaining for value, then you should go with 𝒟𝒆 because he's great for chaining and he has a great healing factor, which is in his expertise. So if you want him for chaining, then you should unlock 𝒟𝒆's expertise, and if you want him only for open field, then you should keep his skills as 5/5/5/5 without unlocking his expertise. That way he's great for field, but again, if you like him for chaining, then unlock his expertise. However, if you like a commander who is super versatile and you can rally with him, you can garrison with him, and you can open field with him, he's great in all of those 3 things, except chaining barbarians because he doesn't have a healing factor. That's why 𝒟𝒆 makes a great choice if you are a chainer. So, if you want to defend your city in Ark of Osiris against Shadow Legion or stuff like that, and you want to rally barbarian forts, or rally another city, then you should go with Nevsky because he's literally made for that purpose. So with that being said, choose your primary according to your needs. And now let's get to the secondary commander, and that would have to be Arthur Pendragon, the newest cavalry commander who came about a month ago. So that would make your best cavalry march either Nevsky with Arthur or 𝒟𝒆 with Arthur, and that is our very first march. Now let's get to infantry. The single best infantry march in the game, it is Scipio with 𝒟𝒆, without a doubt, without a discussion. It is the single best march in the game for infantry players because both of them, they have AoE. Scipio has a great debuff, 𝒟𝒆 does 5 target AoE. I mean, they are just the best. You cannot unfortunately pair Scipio with another skill damaging commander like Ragnar Prime because Ragnar is much weaker than 𝒟𝒆, and 𝒟𝒆 is the strongest infantry commander in the game, or should I say the strongest commander in the game because he does 5 target AoE with a high damage. Next to Zhuge Liang because he also does 5 target with a high damage. So yeah, for this march it's best if you use the arch formation with infantry stats because of 𝒟𝒆. However, if your arch armaments are trash, then you can use wedge as well, but that would only affect Scipio's damage output and not have any effects on 𝒟𝒆 unless it boosts normal damage or all damage. Right, so Scipio with 𝒟𝒆, best infantry march. And now let's move to our final march, which would be archers, and that would be, again, without a discussion, without a doubt, Zhuge Liang with Herman Prime. That right there is the single best archer march in the game, which automatically makes it a core march. This march has double AoE, it has debuffs, it has buffs, and it is also known as the founding father of 𝒟𝒄 because of Herman Prime and the debuff he applies on the enemies, which is the skill damage taken increase, also known as poison. And 𝒟𝒾𝑜𝓊𝓈 is also amazing because of his 5-target AoE. So this march overall is a must-have for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're cav main, if you're infantry main, you should absolutely have this march in your lineup. However, the only problem with archers is that they are slow. Not just this march, but any archer march in general, they are as slow as hell. And that's why sometimes it's better to use commanders with support tree, because they offer you a high amount of march speed, and support tree is actually the fastest tree right after the mobility tree. So yeah, for archers I would use support, and these are the talent trees I would go with. So if the marching distance to an objective is far away, then I would go with Hermann primary and 𝒟𝒾 secondary, and this is the talent tree I have on Hermann. As you can see, I also went some points on versatility because of that 6% march speed from this talent. So with this build, it makes them super fast and they can keep up with your other marches and don't fall behind. So once again, 𝒟𝒾 with Hermann or Hermann with 𝒟𝒾, that is our third archer march in our core march series. So once again, a quick recap. For cavalry, it's 𝒟𝒹𝒹𝓎 with Arthur or 𝒟𝒏 with Arthur. For infantry, it is Scipio with 𝒟𝒏, and for archers, it is either 𝒟𝒾𝓊𝓈 with Hermann or Hermann with 𝒟𝒾𝓊𝓈, depending on the objective distance. Now that you have your 3 marches in the game, from here you can work your way up towards 4 march, 5th march, and then if you're a spender, then you can have your 6th and 7th march unlocked as you progress further into the game and craft equipment, armaments for all of your marches. By the way, if you're just new to the game, this is how I would buff my commanders by giving them titles. So I would buff my archers with health and defense to make them tanky, and I would buff my either infantry or cavalry march with the attack stat to make them inflict more damage. And by the way, the buffs on this commander title tab applies to everything. Doesn't matter if the commander is primary or secondary, it applies and counts as the overall stat. About the best choice for city skin, I would recommend to go with 𝒟𝒏𝓎 because majority of your commanders in this 3 march setup have a skill damage. They do skill damage, and only one commander does a smite damage, and he is 𝒟𝒏𝓎. Even Arthur, he does skill damage because he is put as secondary. If Arthur is primary, then he does delta, he does combo attack damage, and it is kind of normal damage, right? So skill damage does not apply to Arthur only when he is primary. But now that he's secondary, then the skill damage applies to him. With that being said, our video is concluded on 3 core marches for open field as of 2025 February. So the next time I'm gonna do this is probably gonna be in June or July, after we have the newest infantry commander and maybe the newest archer commander added to our list, so we can see if this lineup changes or it remains the same. One thing's for sure, the cavalry remains the same, but the infantry and the archer might change. We'll see about that in just a few months. So I hope you enjoyed and you learned something new, especially the new players who might seem a bit confused entering season 3, because KVK 3 gives you a lot of new commanders, right, and you don't know who to invest in. But hopefully with this video, now you got a good idea on who to invest. Alright, this is 𝒟𝒏𝓎𝓈. This is 𝒟𝒏𝓎𝓈. Take care and peace out. And peace out. My fucking fingers, man.